So my name's Stu Martin. Been in Taupo far too many years, but picked up a whistle to referee when my young fellow was coming through playing Ripper to start with, and obviously really important that we engage with our kids and help out to the best we can. So we're all here tonight as coaches and managers, supporters of our own kids, but also every other child that wants to play the game of rugby. But it's really important that we tip our cap and put a bit of time into the officiating side of the rugby as well. So here as coaches and managers, you'll have the responsibility to referee your games as well. So whether it's at Ripper, under 9s, under 11s, under 13s, hopefully we'll have our appointed referees at under 13s level, and we've got some young new associate referees coming through that we'll be engaging with on part of the King Country Referees Association to mentor and bring through at under 6s Rippers, 7 Rippers, and also 9s and 11s, and we've got some really capable boys that are going to be getting on the park to show their wares. So when I was asked just to present a little bit to you regarding the role of the referee, automatically the mind goes to rules and what you see on the field and what the referee does regarding adjudicating what he sees. I've taken it into 3 sections, which to be fair doesn't cover rules. So quite happy to take questions, and good to see Mike here as well, who's senior premier referee, part of our King Country Referees Association group as well. So we can take some questions on law, we'll answer them to the best of our ability. I'll pass you to Mike if I don't know. So there's so many rules. So the 3 groups I've broken it into: 1, before the game starts; 2, on-field processes, what you actually do on the field, and once again law's got to do with that, but it's more about the processes integrating with the law to your actions on the field. And the last one, and just to finish off on that on-field processes, I had a bit of a laugh because Josh has got it under the heading of Twit, and sitting in my office today thinking I'm going to speak about refereeing rugby, encouraging people to get involved, and under the title of Twit. So I thought about it, I had a bit of a chuckle because I've been called a lot worse than a twit, so I think I can handle twit. So I'll run through that. And the last thing is just to not brush over, but really engage you guys with our associate referees group. So the King Country Rugby Referees Association has been a big driver about getting people involved and integrated into an associate referees group. So it's instead of bring your whistle along, have a go, we'll help you out. It's developed into some nice kit for you. So it's a King Country Associate Referees kit. Every second week Mike has taken over and we've been having our Zoom meetings for our referees, so it engages all of the North King Country referees group as well. So we've been Zoom meeting every second Tuesday, and to the best of our ability we'll meet here at Owen Delaney Park as well. So it's a great session to, if you want to do law, it's bloody good. And there's as many laws as there are. These are fantastic. By all means, 1, you'll have so-called junior rugby rules, which is appropriate to learn and understand, but downloadable app if you want it on your phone. If you want it in book form, really, really good, and a great reference to work back on to help you out with your processes and your understanding of what you're about to achieve on the field. So I'll just start with before the game starts. So from my perspective, and a lot that we talk about in our group, is that communication is key. We brushed on it earlier tonight. First of all, read the rules from Taupo Junior Rugby. They put time and effort into producing those, and from the experience I've had over many years, everyone is interpreting those rules differently, and they'll play to what they believe is correct. But read the black and white and engage with your competitive, your coach, your team that you're playing against on the day. So when you're out on the field, everybody's expectations are met between those 2 teams. Whether it doesn't need to engage the supporters in any way, if both coaches and both the kids, all of the kids' teams are involved and engaged and everyone's on the same path, then it'll make the day and the game a lot more enjoyable. So engage with your other team. Don't just roll out onto the field and say, yep, sweet mate, I'll referee the first half, and then it's all yours the second half. So engage with them, set some expectations. It could be the simple factors. There's so many rules in the rugby, it's ridiculous. I'm going to pick up knock-ons, forward passes, and we're going to do our scrum technique correctly, and just make sure all our boys are on side. So you could have 4 things that you're going to focus on for that day, and if that's related and relayed to your other coach as well, then I think the game will go really good. So read and understand the rules. If you get the basics right, then you're going to be really convincing and selling it. So we talk a lot about that regarding our performance on the field. If you can sell it and you're doing the correct things, you're selling it to the players, you're selling it to your supporters, your grumpy uncle on the sideline that's yelling at you. If you can be confident and sell it to those people, I think it goes to a long way towards the game flowing, and at the end of the day everyone's really happy. So rugby's a terrible game, you're not going to satisfy everybody, but I think if you're doing your job correctly and engaging with the right people, then it's going to be a lot better. Look the part to the best of your ability. So we all have a joke and a laugh about Uncle Bob runs out with his gummies on and runs. He's at halfway when the try scored, all that sort of thing. At least Uncle's out there doing the job anyway. But make sure we're in your high vis if you're junior rugby, they're provided. Look the part if you've got some good running shoes. Once again, you're convincing and you're selling it to the people that you're there for the right reason as well, and you're doing a good job. So we'll lead on to that with the associate referees group regarding the uniform as well. So once again, it's selling it to the players, spectators, that you're engaged in what you're doing, and you're convinced that you're confident in what you're doing as well. So that's about it before the game starts. So I think it's really important just to cover those bases again, set the expectations, and then when you're ready to go on the field, that everyone's running down the same line. So on-field processes, so Twit. So this is just regarding the processes on the field when you're operating. So T, think. So a game of rugby, you've got to make instant decisions on what you see in front of you. So I think it's, if something happens, you're confident, you've seen it, you understand it, you've got basic law of the ball's knocked on, it's a forward pass, the player's miles offside. Mentally in that instance, you make that decision. So that's our thinking process. There's lots to think about, and if your expectation is to go out there and get everything 100% right, then you'll be sadly disappointed because you won't. But if you can clarify those 3 or 4 basic things that you're running through during the day and nail those, then you'll just start to grow your knowledge around the laws as you move into college, first 15, senior rugby. There's a lot more laws and players will test you, but like I said, at junior level, 9s, 11s, 13s, the basic law still stands. But just make sure you're reacting quickly, mentally, you're processing what's happening in front of you, and you make that decision. So that rolls on to the W, your whistle. So that's your number 1 tool. Make sure you blow that hard. Make sure that people can hear you. So it's about selling, the process of selling that to your players, supporters. I've had kids have a go at me because I've nearly deafened them, so to speak. But at least I'm blowing my whistle. And just be prepared to engage, a try scored, get there on time, blow the whistle, hand up, try, so you're verbalising that as well. If you can engage and think about what you're blowing the whistle for, so if it's a penalty, it's a firm, loud blast on the whistle versus a knock-on perhaps. So it's still a firm blast, but it has a different tone as well. So you can play around, and people on the sideline, once again, you're selling it. Loud blast, direct firm try, awesome, everyone's celebrating. Knock on, it's not so loud, but nice and firm as well. So we get told a little bit about our monotone, so we're just blowing the same type of whistle for every single thing, which can disengage people because they just think it's they don't understand what it's for. So there are different levels of blowing the whistle. That rolls on to indicating, so it's what we call our signalling. So think, process, blow, whistle, and signal. So we all know what a knock-on is. We all know what a penalty is. If you blow your whistle and stand there and don't signal, we're not selling it to the kids, we're not selling it to the sideline supporters. So if you blow your whistle and then you have a chat to somebody, no one knows what's going on. So if you blow, whistle, knock on, scrum, blue, everyone understands whether you're standing 50 metres away or whether the kids are on the field. So really important just to own it. Think, process, whistle and signal, and then everyone's engaged exactly what's moving on from there. So the last T for the Twit is talk. So communication pre-game moves through onto the field. So if you're communicating and talking to the kids or talking to players, once again, processing, thinking about that, making the decision, blowing the whistle, indicating, and then you're talking. So knock on, blue, scrum, red, penalty, high tackle, blue. All the sideline supporters can hear you. They hear the whistle, they see the signal, and they hear you talking. But also the talking is really important on the field without you blowing the whistle. So it could be hands out black. So you're engaging prior to possibly what could be an incident that's happening over and over and over again. So be engaged into not yelling and demanding at kids to do what you want them to do. You're not there, you're there to facilitate the game, you're not there to, it's not all about us, so to speak. We're there to facilitate the game and educate the kids as well. So just be open and honest with the kids. Sometimes an incident will happen, high tackle, accidental, kids get a bit upset. There's no point me going over there, penalty, high tackle, don't do that again. So just encourage the kids. Things happen and that's the way it goes. But it's also in a positive manner as well. You know, blow the whistle, try. Wow, what a sidestep. I was 10 metres behind. What the hell are you doing? You're so fast. So it's all about encouragement and keeping the kids engaged. And that relationship that you build, regardless of the team, flows from players to coaches to the sideline supporters. And I think that goes a long way to... we're still going to get the negative comments from the sideline, but I kind of think that if we can run through our processes and sell it and convince people that we're actually there for the right reason, I think the positives will far outweigh the negatives and will be good. So big thing is don't be a twit, but follow the twit processes, and I think we'll engage in a really good season ahead. So to finish off, part of the associate referees group, so once again King Country Rugby Union, north of the border, so Te Kuiti Tamaranui, are very engaged with it as well and have offered one young girl who's quite keen on starting to referee here in Taupo through the King Country Referees Association group. We've really driven it with the support of the whole union regarding getting whether it's a Riley Swanson or an Ollie Barnett, or it could be Uncle Bob that comes to rugby every Saturday but doesn't want to coach, but would love to get involved in refereeing. So we've taken it upon ourselves to engage with that really strongly. Michael Winter from the Waikato Rugby Union is really strong in education, so we're looking at running associate referee group sessions to engage. But the real positive is that our local referees, we've taken the responsibility to work with our young referees coming through, whether it's young, old, never picked up a whistle before in their lives, it doesn't really matter. So the big thing for us is that we're going to take these new referees on board. We'll run, we can call us mentors, old fellas, super knowledgeable lawmen, whatever we call. But so we're going to be supporting these referees, and I'd like to think you as coaches and managers will be following suit regarding when you see these people on the in the middle blowing their whistle. And please bear in mind that the door's always open. Refereeing is actually really enjoyable. Cop a bit of flack, but shit happens. You cop a bit of flack when you go to work in the morning, so it's no different. But rugby's a great game. support the people that are involved now, but also if you know of anyone that's interested, there's some fantastic education to referee, books, law books, get involved. I imagine every single person in the room watches rugby on TV, completely degrades the referee because he's useless, doesn't know his law, all that sort of drama, but it's amazing what you pick up. And I've certainly gone from watching a lot of rugby to watching a lot of rugby referees. So it's really interesting process to assistant referees work, so there's completely different knowledge, education around being an assistant referee, running the touchline and engaging with your team. So there's two of you and then the referee in the middle. So it's been a really exciting process for myself personally, working with Mike, Stephen Payne, Chris Cowie, running sideline, Premier Rugby, Ollie Barnett, Riley are involved in running touchlines and running water and being engaged at senior rugby level. So if the process for you guys is to, ladies and men, everybody involved to start through the junior ranks, by all means, but it's really exciting to see the progress and the opportunities that you can have. Me on the sideline with comms at an under-19 Jock-Ops tournament was amazing, and you learn so much more. So support the association, support young fellas, support all the juniors on the field. If refereeing is something you want to give us a go, just come and see anybody of us that will have KC referees on. Josh, Kurt, anyone around the traps through junior rugby. So I'll just show you a little bit of kit we've got. Not to be biased, but an awesome sponsor. So this is our associate referee's jersey. Clearly stating what we are and what we're doing. And when you see one of these jerseys on the field with a whistle, I'd like to think that you'll see King Country Referees Association tracksuit on the sideline, and we'll be doing our bit to support everybody. So they're not all size 14 and 16, there's some larges and mediums for people out there. So just come and see us. Riley, I believe we've got one for you.
Yep. 16. I was a 16.
Oh, mate, awesome.
That's right. Well done, Riley.
So Ollie Barnett's come on board.